We all feel that rejection kills dreams. We all feel that failure kills dreams. There's 4 words that we say in our heads to ourselves that genuinely have destroyed more dreams than all of those things put together. Make your life about service and helping other people, not just to feel good, but make that the reason why you do what you do. I grew up in a family where you could either be a doctor, a lawyer, or a failure. Those were my 3 options. Anything else would just count me as a failure.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
What's up, Believe Nation? It's Evan. My one word is believe, and I believe in you. I believe you have Michael Jordan level talent at something, and I want you to find it, embrace it, and use it to make a difference. So let's get your motivation to a 10 and get you believing in you. Grab a snack and chew in today's lessons from a man who went from being bullied as a child for being nerdy and overweight to living as a monk to now being one of the most viewed people on the internet. He's Jay Shetty. And here's my take on his top 10 rules to success, volume 3. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Stop caring what others think.
We all feel that rejection kills dreams. We all feel that failure kills dreams. We all feel that people kill dreams.
You can't kill my dreams.
But actually, there's 4 words that we say in our heads to ourselves that genuinely have destroyed more dreams than all of those things put together. Those 4 words are, what will people say? What will people say? How many times have you stopped yourself from doing something because you're scared of how people will react? How many times, out of the fear of someone else's opinion or criticism, have you stopped yourself from doing what you believe in? How many times has someone's perception or perspective stopped you from living your potential? No matter what you choose to do, there will always be people who find fault with it. There will always be people who criticize, complain, who try to bring you down and tell you that what you're doing isn't right. Haters gonna hate. It's crazy that we give up what we most want in life just based on people's opinions. And the crazy thing is, if we're living for other people's opinions, we'll never be right. There'll always be someone with something that they won't agree with. And this is why it's so important that we work with our own conviction. We work on what matters to us. It was Aristotle who told us that there were only 3 ways to avoid criticism. Do nothing, say nothing, be nothing. And I'm sure none of us want that of our future.
Rule number 2, live fully.
When we die, our lifeline does this, right? It looks like this. When you're living, your lifeline's doing this. Notice how that connects with our real experience of life. Real life is ups and downs. Stagnant life, death looks like this. Being an entrepreneur looks like this. One's living, one's dead. You choose. When I saw that and I started to visualize that, I realized that every time I failed, every time things went wrong, every time I chose to risk to live my passion and things didn't work out, and they don't work out, even now they don't work out. And when I analyze the lives of entrepreneurs and look at how things haven't worked out, I just remind myself, that's living, that's not.
Rule number 3, make your life about service.
If you're a musician, serve. If you're a coder, serve. If you're an orchestra leader, serve. If you're a entrepreneur, serve. Like, make your life about service and helping other people, not just to feel good, but make that the reason why you do what you do. Don't make that what happens because you have money. Make that the reason you do what you do.
Yeah.
And if people start with service, then you'll experience love, then you'll experience compassion, then you'll experience gratitude. Service is, Gandhi said it, you find yourself when you lose yourself in the service of others. And that's the deepest level of self-actualization. So know that you're the soul and the consciousness, not the body. Know that you have a unique genius and don't settle for any less. And use both of those to serve other people as the reason for the first 2.
Rule number 4, prioritize growth.
I remember this video that went viral around 2 years ago where this young girl, around 2 years old, started to crawl and walk in her parents' living room. She went up to the television screen and she decided to try and get it to swipe. She started doing this with her little hands and fingers, hoping that the television screen would swipe. To her complete bewilderment, the television screen did not swipe.
Oh, come on.
All of a sudden, tears started to run down her eyes because she, in her 2-year-old life, had never come across a screen that didn't swipe.
It doesn't work.
What do you mean it doesn't work?
It doesn't work.
She probably used her parents' iPad or laptop. She used her parents' screen, and she'd been seeing screens swipe for 2 years, but this screen did not swipe. In 2 years, she had developed a belief that every screen in her life swipes. Imagine if in 2 years she was completely conditioned to believe that every screen swipes, how quickly we all become conditioned in 2 decades, 4 decades, 6 decades, or even more. They say that the biggest challenge today is not simply to learn, but to learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Wait, what?
So I want you to think about in your mind the one habit that you want to change. Now, if you truly want to change a habit, psychologists and researchers say it will take anywhere from 21 to 90 days. If you want to change anything in your life, you have to start with a small step, but make it a big priority. One of the biggest mistakes people make is they try to make big changes and make them a small priority.
I had it backwards.
Rule number 5, don't settle.
What happens in society is that we're clouded by the noise of family expectations, the noise of our parents. I grew up in a family where you could either be a doctor, a lawyer, or a failure. Those were my 3 options. Anything else would just count me as a failure, right? I'm standing up here in front of you all as a failure. We focus so much on life in what we want to be, as opposed to who we want to be. We've always been told that life and jobs and careers are like boxes and containers. There's only a finite number of options. You can decide right now that I don't want to be defined by this box. I don't want to be defined by this container. I don't want to feel that if only I live in this container, then I'll be able to be successful.
Rule number 6, find self-awareness.
Most of us just throw ourselves into the deep end and then try swim and figure it out.
Right.
Monk life actually begins at like 5 years old. Like the training of monk life is ultimately training in self-actualization and self-awareness. It's meant to start when you're 5. The problem is we all went to normal schools that try to put stuff in us rather than take stuff out of us.
It's crazy.
You talk about this,
Right.
Like you know, you were told at school that you weren't very good and you weren't good at English, and now you have a New York Times bestseller, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, but no one noticed that potential inside you. No one noticed that, oh, Lewis was really creative.
Right.
And you're not the only person. There's so many people who feel like that. So the modern schooling system didn't extrapolate your self-actualization, your element, and just try to put maths, English, science inside. So the point is that you're trying to get to such a strong foundation that when you interact in the world, you're going with a sense of strength, fuel, energy to make a difference, rather than going into the world and then going, oh my God, where am I, trying to figure it out. And I find what happens today is that when you don't, we all know this, self-love's become such a big thing now, that when people don't figure out, it's like a huge trend now. But my point is that if you don't start at a place where you have self-awareness, self-actualization, you have figured out what works for you, what your strengths are, how you want to be in an environment, when you walk out there, most of us just pretend to be someone else. Most of us get lost. Most of us get carried away.
Yeah.
So my point is, strengthen yourself, grow yourself, and then of course interact with the world.
Rule number 7, go beyond wanting money.
Steve Jobs said that you should never start a company with the goal of getting rich. It should be about starting a company to make something you believe in. We should dream to make a difference, break down boundaries, build beyond borders, and ignite ideas to innovate incessantly and create for people what they can never conjure up themselves. Henry Ford said that if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. And that's the beauty of going beyond wanting money and going beyond wanting fame and going beyond wanting power, that you actually craft something that evolves people's daily lives, that you actually create something that enhances someone's human experience. People respond to people who want to do more than just gain for themselves. We're attracted by selflessness. We're attracted by renunciation. We're attracted by the quality of when people want to give rather than take, when they want to share rather than keep, and when they want to do and serve rather than just hold. Steve Jobs said, being the richest man in the cemetery doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is going to sleep feeling like we've done something wonderful.
Rule number 8, use your time wisely.
I'm not telling you to not work at a corporate. I think corporate experience is great. What I'm saying is, don't lose this voice. Work till 6 p.m. every day, then go home and work on what you actually care about. Use your weekends to not be on Instagram and actually do what you care about. When you do that, you're investing in your meaning. You can be making enough money and make the switch. That's what's up for all of you who have a great degree, have a great education, you've got that job lined up. Use it. Just don't become a servant of that job. Don't just say, oh, I'm in prison now, I'm just gonna use my weekends to hang out. If you do wanna do that, that's cool too. If you say to me, Jay, actually, whatever you're saying, I don't even want that. I just wanna hang out and have a good time. I don't even want meaning or purpose. That's cool with me too. But if you wanna be happy and you wanna be fulfilled and you wanna have an impact on the world, then use your time wisely. I used to go home after my corporate job at 8 p.m. and edit till 1 a.m. on my own every day. So do your job, get a job if that's where you need to go with it. If you can't go all in, be safe, be secure. But then don't waste that time on not doing that and then complaining that you don't have what you want.
Rule number 9, stop chasing a false reality.
One thing I've been observing is that achievement or ambition is broken down into 5 stages. Learn, experiment, perform, struggle, thrive. Right now, the challenge with all of those is that we want to thrive all the time. We want to be in thrive zone. We want to be winning those awards, getting those views, getting those messages, getting those likes all the time. We want to be noticed and recognized. But actually, if we took a step back, we realize we need to be learning. We need to be experimenting. And so what happens is that we get confused by where we are. And so our expectation of what we want is totally blurred. And we start chasing a false reality. And that's why we find that we get disappointed and confused when we know we should actually be performing. We actually need to do, we need to act, rather than chasing that thriving feeling all the time. So next time you think things aren't working out, next time you feel you're not on the right track, step back and ask yourself, should I be learning? Should I be experimenting? Should I be thriving? Should I be performing or should I be struggling? And that one comes around a lot more than you can imagine.
And rule number 10, my personal favorite, as well as the last one before a very special bonus clip, is don't live for the approval of others.
Let me tell you about this girl called Cleo. I think you might know someone like her too. She had the dream of becoming a model. She said she was going to move to LA to pursue it seriously. She took care of herself, at least her body well. Someone told me she did ads for L'Oreal. She had so many followers on Instagram who all loved her. Within a minute of her posting a picture, there would be hundreds and hundreds of comments, all telling her how beautiful she was, how good she looked, comment after comment, like after like. She was a real entertainer. She was always making everyone laugh. I remember every guy wanted her number, but she kept to herself. She just had this infectious energy. She got along with everyone. She was always the life of the party. She was never seen in the same outfit twice. Boxes and boxes of Amazon Prime. On Instagram, she was the perfect girl with the perfect life, the perfect world with the perfect guys. But nothing's perfect, right? It seemed like she was always having the best time with her friends, always traveling, new experiences, and so many great stories to share. Until people started to notice. I think she lived like 2 lives. No one really knew her inside. She had everyone to text, but no one to talk to. Everyone to follow, but no one to walk with. When the phone was up, her world was a stage. When it was down, her reality came. She had an invite to every event, but still felt lonely. She had all the friends in the world, but still felt no one really knows me. She was going through pain, but never showed that side. It was something she hid from the world. Or maybe we just never asked. She had masked her sadness with what looked like the ideal life. She was always flying high in the air, but felt low inside. Her inbox was always full, but she felt empty within. She was happy on the outside, but struggling with depression and anxiety. She had an addiction that everyone called a lifestyle, but she was struggling with mental health, but people were just occupied by her physical appearance. See, people think depression is sadness. People think depression is crying. People think depression is being quiet. Depression is when we smile, but we want to cry. It's when we talk, but we want to be quiet. It's when we pretend like we're happy, but we're not. Depression is not always obvious. She drank to drown her pain, but the pain learned how to swim. She was sick of crying, tired of trying, smiling, but inside she was dying. It's amazing how we can think we know someone and still not know them at all. I don't think we understand how stressful it is to explain what's going on in your head when you don't even understand yourself. We use filters to lighten our photos whilst we carry the heavy weight of stress. Remember, it's okay to have highlight reels, but make sure someone knows how you really feel. It's okay to use FaceTime, but make sure you spend quality time face to face. It's okay to have followers, but make sure you have true friends. Don't live for the approval of others. Document the moments you're most in love with yourself, not just the moments you think people will love the most. When someone doesn't post for a few days, we ask if they're okay. When someone posts every day, we assume they are. Tell people you love them. Be a trustworthy friend. Tell them that they matter. Tell them that they've survived a lot and they're ready to thrive now. People who care will ask how you're doing. People who love you will wait till you tell the truth. And that's why Robin Williams said, I used to think that the worst thing in life was to end up alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is to end up with people who make you feel alone.
Now I've got a really special bonus Jay Shetty clip on how to stop your ego that I think you're really going to enjoy. But before that, I want to make sure we're moving from not just watching another video, but to actually taking some kind of action in your life and your business. So it's time for the 3 questions. Answer these questions by yourself, talk about them with a friend, or leave the answers in the comments below. Here we go. Question number 1, whose opinion matters to you that you need to let go of this week? Question number 2, what will you no longer settle for starting today? And question number 3, what 3 things will you do to grow this week? Thank you guys so much for watching. I believe in you. I hope you continue to believe in yourself and whatever your one word is. Much love. I'll see you soon and enjoy the bonus clip.
As a monk, we were taught 2 things to remember, 2 things to forget. Always remember the bad you've done to others, and remember the good others have done for you. Right? Always remember the bad you've done to others and the good others have done to you. When you remember the bad you've done to others, you'll always feel grounded, you'll always feel humbled. You'll never let your ego get over you. And when you remember the good others have done for you, you feel grateful.
Right.
2 things to forget. Forget the good you've done for others. If you get fixated and fascinated by that too long, your ego is going to grow. And forget the bad others have done to you. That doesn't mean you have to be their best friend again.
Right.
But to forget, because otherwise that's just going to drain your energy forever. And those 2 points have really stayed with me because they both stop you from ego and they increase gratitude.
Yeah.
And they keep you humble and grounded. And so I aspire for that.
Altruistic, world domination, honey empire, right?
I'm grateful. I understand why I'm here.
I think because I am so open.
I wanted to think and say, it's a bloody brief life.
All of you have the potential for enormous success.
If you want another amazing video highlighting excellence in the Indian community, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.